Video, I want to quickly answer some common questions that have come up on Programming Assignment 1, Part 2. I do have a video that talks about some hints around Programming Assignment Part 2. That's a separate video. I would recommend watching that and this video. This is just a few questions that have come up recently as we're getting close to the due date. So first of all, let me do a demonstration. In NetBeans, you see two different classes, one called Converter, one called Converter Runner. Notice Converter Runner has the green triangle, which indicates this is the class that can run. So I right-click and choose Run, and I'm going to get a prompt, a J-option pane prompt. I'm going to say I wish to convert the temperature 40. In this assignment, we're going to assume that that this prompt is a prompt in degrees Fahrenheit. In our next assignment, which is Programming Assignment number 2, we're also going to handle Celsius with an if test, but don't worry about that right now. Right now, let's simplify things and just assume Fahrenheit. Now, this prompt and all input and all output should be in the class called Converter Runner. Any interaction with the user in class Converter Runner. All of the computations, all of the calculations should be in class Converter. Specifically, they should be in the set Celsius method. And then in Programming Assignment 2, we'll put another computation in the get Celsius method. You do have the option to do that in this programming assignment. Work a little bit ahead if you wish. But nonetheless, all input output in Converter Runner, all computations in Converter. So I enter the number 40 and then take a look. Once I do that, I get Celsius 4 and Fahrenheit 40 in the output. And this is what I'd like to see in your assignment. So once again, the Celsius and the Fahrenheit, that was printed out from Converter Runner. But we came up with these numbers 4 and 40 by doing the computations in Converter. Now 40, there was no computation involved. That was just data in, data out. But for the 4, we had to use the formula that I provided here in our Programming Assignment 1, Part 2, letter B. So this formula goes into the method called getCelsius. Now, I say create a method named getCelsius, but I also say you can reuse Programming Assignment Part 1 for this as well. And in Programming Assignment 1, Part 1, you already have a getCelsius method. So what I'm saying here is take out what is there. What is there is return Celsius. Instead of that, return this formula. And by the way, one little amendment, if your getCelsius returns an int, you want to add this enhancement that I've just added here because you have to do a little bit of casting. I know that's a little bit tricky, but just make note of that. Now, if your getCelsius returns a double, no problem. You don't have to do this. We're doing some odd computations here where we have a decimal point that we're going to end up getting rid of. Thus, we have to cast. More on that next week. Okay, so that's what our assignment should look like. How long did it take me? Don't be mad at me, but it only took me about 3 to 5 minutes to write it. But then again, I have some experience with this. So, what I'm getting at here is if you're spending hours and hours and hours on this project, you're probably spending too much time on it. You might be going about it the wrong way. Don't be afraid to ask a question because that's what I'm here for. So what I want to do, all of the videos we've covered to date are important, but I want to point out a few that are especially important for this programming assignment. I can assure you that everything we're doing in this programming assignment has been covered in a video. And this programming assignment is very similar to the example that I'm using in our class. So where I have a class called Driver, you have a class called Converter Runner. Where I have a class called Vehicle, you have a class called Converter. And when you see me passing or prompting for data in Driver and passing it to Vehicle, that's the exact same thing that you want to do in Converter Runner and then pass it to Converter. So everything's very similar, and of course it's very much on purpose. So the videos that I would highlight are these right here, and I'll show them to you on our playlist for the class. They all kind of come together. These are the same videos you see on the learning module, but I also have them in a playlist on YouTube for people who want to just go through the entire set all at once, not constrained by the learning module. So what I would recommend is start here with video 10. Create an object from a class in Java, invoke methods toString. If you're having trouble figuring out how to get data from Converter Runner to Converter, this video is your friend. Getters and setters, equally important for the same reason. Data types, order of operations, that's important if you're having a challenge with getting the right number to compute. If you put in 40 for Fahrenheit, you should see 4 or 4.444 continuous for Celsius. If you're not getting those numbers and you don't know why, take a look at these two videos. Now, if you're not sure how to prompt, also for data types, we also want to think about converting a string to an int. If you're having challenges prompting the user, this video is crucial. It's only 11.5 minutes. Getting input from a user with JOption pane and create NetBeans shortcut. That's when you definitely want to bookmark. Now, regardless of how you're doing on this assignment, absolutely positively, the debugging video is one of the most important. The sooner you are comfortable with the debugger, the more time you're going to save yourself this class. If you put it off and put it off, you're going to be struggling for no reason. Watch that video, watch it 2 times, watch it 3 times, get experience with it, try it out. Of course, we have the life lessons videos as well, the common syntax errors, dealing with strings, so on and so forth. So those are the ones that are going to be the most important. That's what this assignment is for. It's to reinforce those videos. The next series of videos will play into our next assignment. So you see the assignments and the videos go hand in hand. Now remember, I am here to help. It is natural to be confused when learning, and that is how learning happens. If everything were easy, we wouldn't learn much. There is a significant learning curve when you're learning programming. I don't doubt that at all. Honestly, that's kind of good, because if anybody could do it, then jobs wouldn't pay as well as they do. But this is a skill. You're learning a skill right now. Skills make you valuable, make you earn more. But part of earning more is going through this learning curve. Now, it is definitely a good idea to be self-sufficient, know how to find information on your own. But remember, I'm here to help you succeed. That's my goal. That's our department's goal. That's your goal as well. So don't be afraid or too proud to ask for assistance if you find you're spending hours and hours and hours on this and you feel you're going down the wrong path. Now, remember, I do ask for a 48-hour SLA. So give me 48 hours. Just, I have things going on too, and I can't always jump over and help. But more importantly, around this time of the assignment, a lot of students are asking me questions, and so I kind of have to queue them up, which is why I'm asking for 48 hours. That being said, I will try to get back to you as soon as possible, especially with the deadline approaching. I can't guarantee anything more than 48 hours, but I will definitely do my best, and given that I am available and have time, I'll be happy to answer. Of course, the more information you can give me, the quicker I can respond. If you give me a very specific error message, if you give me source code or a screen capture, if it's something that I can answer by looking on my mobile phone and I don't actually have to download, look at your project, I can probably answer it a bit quicker. Of course, I'll be happy to answer a question where I do have to download your project. I just have to wait until I have time to sit down and do it. That's all. So don't be afraid to ask for assistance. That's why I'm here. So good luck on the project, and please let me know how I can help. Thank you.